Today we're taking a deep dive into the E-TWOW Booster GT-SE. I've tested this electric scooter across more than 180 miles and I've benchmarked its real-world range, top speed and acceleration. Sit back and relax as I compare this portable e-scooter to its lightweight competitors. The GT-SE is the successor to the Booster GT. While it has the exact same build, it boasts smartphone app connectivity that'll allow you to manage how you ride and safety features. On paper, the Booster GT-SE looks to be an ultra-portable scooter with an impressive amount of range and power for its weight. But how does it perform in the real world and does it justify its price tag? Let's find out. Quick disclaimer, I was sent this model by UScooters for review purposes. No money exchanged hands and they did not get any input on the production of video, nor do they get to review the video before it's posted. Thanks to UScooters for making this video possible. The E-TWOW Booster GT-SE has a 500 watt brushless DC motor at the front and a specified top speed of 25 miles per hour. A 500 watt motor is rarely seen in ultra portable commuter scooters like this one, so I was super excited to test it out. Through my speed tests, I was able to clock a top speed of 23 miles per hour on a smooth and level surface. While this is not as much as advertised, this is easily the fastest speed I've ever clocked on a scooter with such a small form factor. It's really nice to see a manufacturer prioritize motor power on commuter scooters because so many of them struggle on hills and with acceleration. Speaking of acceleration, the GT-SE once again finds itself amongst the best in its weight class. From my tests, it's only beaten by the Unagi Model 1 E500, which has a dual motor setup, so the traction is evidently gonna be better on that one. Still, the front-wheel driven GT-SE provides solid acceleration even as the battery level diminishes. It does take about a half second to pick up, but once it gets grip on the road, it accelerates really fast. So I put the GT-SE up against some challenging roads to see if it was any good on hills, and it didn't let me down. Several times I found myself thinking it's not gonna make that hill, only to be proven wrong moments later. Obviously it's not gonna outperform dual motor monsters on hills, but it was able to climb the steepest ones that I could find. Range is one of the areas where ultra-portable scooters usually fall well short of bigger models, but this is where the GT-SE shakes things up. E-TWOW have somehow managed to fit a 48 volts 10.5 amp hour Samsung battery into the slim deck, which means it has an effective capacity of 504 watt hours. Now this is easily the highest battery capacity scooter in its weight class. While there are scooters with better battery capacity to price ratio, part of the science is how they've been able to pack so much into such a lightweight build. As per usual, I run 3 range tests at various speeds to see how it performs as you prioritize either speed or range. In the high speed test I got 14.3 miles. In the regular test I got 19.2 miles and finally in the low speed test I got 22.1 miles of range. To my knowledge, this is easily the best range you're gonna get in this weight class, and it's definitely gonna be my go-to scooter for longer inner city commutes for that reason. As the battery level diminishes, it's common to see a drop-off in performance. High quality batteries are usually less affected by this, while the drop is more notable on cheaper models. I refer to this as performance retention. With a high quality Samsung cell battery, the performance retention on this electric scooter is excellent. It only really started losing its acceleration zing at around 20% battery left, with the top speed keeping up pretty much until 10%. All in all, impressive battery performance in an even more impressive form factor. Portability is key for commuter scooters, and this is an area in which the GT-SE really shines. It folds at the handlebars, at the front wheel, and the stem can retract partially into itself. The result is a really portable scooter that takes up minimal space. You could easily fit several of these into a trunk. The scooter does feel a little bit front heavy, likely due to the front wheel drive, but there's a comfortable carrying strap around the stem that makes it easy to handle. As I talked about before, I am extremely impressed at how much performance E-TWOW have packed into such a lightweight package. The scooter weighs 28.6 pounds and it easily outshines its weight class competitors in terms of specs. The Booster GT-SE blends convenience and comfort in its build. It's geared with two 8-inch airless tires, so you won't have to worry about flats. Solid tires don't have the shock absorbing benefits that pneumatic ones have, so E-TWOW fitted spring suspension both at the front and the rear. It's atypical to see dual spring suspension in ultralight scooters, but it's a very welcome addition that helps a lot with the ride quality. It specifically helps a lot with small obstacles and small bumps on the road. While it doesn't absorb all of these small road vibrations, it's a definite upgrade from suspensionless scooters, and it's super convenient that you don't have to worry about swapping tires all the time. Braking is very smooth and reliable as well. You have 3 braking systems in place: a rear drum brake with a lever on the right handlebar, a thumb-activated electric brake on the left handlebar, and finally the rear fender friction brake. The electronic brake was so smooth that I found myself using it almost exclusively, but if you ever need to stop on a dime, utilizing 2 or 3 braking systems together will let you do that. The GT SE recovers up to 60% of the kinetic energy from electronic braking to recharge the battery, which helps with range as well. Curse technology in e-scooters is an interesting topic, and while many models are trying to incorporate it, it seems E-TWOW are getting some of the most effective results with it so far. Now, I noticed that when you are going at speed and quickly release the throttle entirely, it can give a slight jerk in the scooter. It's not going to throw you off or anything like that, but it's worth knowing. Hopefully this is something they will address in future models. All in all, well above average riding quality for a scooter of this size. Lastly, I really like how the handlebar can be locked into 2 different heights. It locks firmly into place and allows for both taller and shorter people to ride it more comfortably. The deck size is very nice as well. Even though it's not that wide, it's fairly long, so people with bigger feet will be able to stand on it comfortably as well. The Booster GT SE is not the cheapest scooter around, so it's fair to expect solid build quality and safety. From my findings, most of the way it definitely lives up to that. The build itself is largely made from aluminum alloy, which is both lightweight and strong. The stem folding mechanism is very reliable. Unlike some other scooters, you don't need to use a lot of force to click it in and out. Also, I felt no stem flex whatsoever. Many portable scooters with foldable handlebars have an issue where the handlebars can wiggle a bit, but the handlebars on the GT SE feel firmly locked into place. However, I did notice that the rubber handles can move a little. It's not a big issue and it's not something I noticed myself when I was riding, but the fewer moving pieces you have, the better. The handles themselves are shaped ergonomically and have a textured surface that'll help with grip. I found them comfortable to ride with for an extended amount of time. I was also surprised at how silent the scooter was out of the box. No loud brakes, no deafening motor, and no squeaky suspension. One thing that is loud though is the user interface. The LCD display is bright and has excellent clarity on bright days, but every single click on the 4 buttons results in a large beeping noise. It's not usually something I'm picky about, but I think they should definitely turn it down a bit or allow users to turn it off entirely in the future. The electronic horn is loud and clear, just like we want it. I always prefer these over manual bells as they take up less space on the handlebar and usually are more effective in traffic. The scooter features a Bluetooth app connection, which is really cool. The SE in the name stands for Smart Edition, and that is where the name comes from. A lot of the functionality is available at your fingertips already, but it's nice to be able to set your speed limit and zero start without jumping into the P settings every time. Most important is the scooter lock functionality, which is excellent to have. Via the Bluetooth app you can lock the scooter. It's not a bulletproof protection against theft, but it does make it harder for a thief to steal it, especially because of the audible alarm. While the top speed can be limited, there are no riding modes. It would be nice to have 2 or 3 riding modes with different acceleration curves and top speeds based on where you are riding. Still, it is fairly easy to make fine adjustments with the speed throttle, so it's not really an issue. I noticed that the speedometer seems to be off at times when you are going full throttle. I saw myself reaching above 29 miles per hour on the screen, while my pro-grade performance logger later confirmed I was actually only going about 23 miles per hour. However, the battery level gauge was pleasantly accurate. As for visibility, the GT SE is decent but not the best. The high-mounted LED headlight is fairly bright, but I feel like the rear brake light was a little too small and weak. There are side-mounted reflectors on the rear wheel, which is nice, but I would have liked to seen it on the front wheel as well for improved visibility. The scooter has an IPX4 ingress protection rating. This essentially means that it has been tested to be protected against water splashes from any direction. Now, this does not mean that it's fully waterproof. It's likely going to be able to handle light rain just fine, but if you ride for a longer time in heavier rain, some of the electronic components may be at risk of damage. Overall, you've got a really reliable build with the GT SE. It's both strong and lightweight, and all the moving parts lock firmly in place for a safe ride. There are a few minor things that could be improved, such as better visibility, handles that can't wiggle, and a more accurate speedometer. By solving those few issues, I think it would make the product even better in the future. The E-TWOW Booster GT SE is an absolute kick-ass ultra-portable scooter. It pushes the game of what a last-mile commuter scooter is with its unrivaled top speed and range in its weight class. It's an impressive feat that E-TWOW have been able to pack so much battery capacity into such a lightweight build, and the fact that it runs a 48-volt system with a 500-watt motor yields some of the best acceleration and hill climbability in scooters under 30 pounds. The scooter is highly portable and folds together into a very small form factor that you can bring with you on the bus, train, or in your trunk. App connectivity is another highlight on this scooter, and I particularly find the locking feature useful. The ride quality is well above average. The triple braking performance is excellent, and the electronic brake performs particularly well when you don't have to brake hard. Dual spring suspension is a rare treat on ultra portables, as it balances convenience with its 8-inch solid rubber tires. There are a few imperfections here and there that E-TWOW could work on in the future, but it's not nearly enough to dethrone it as the ultralight beast it is. I would have liked to see a bit more visibility and handle grips that can't move, along with a less daunting button press sound, but overall the riding experience is awesome. The Booster GT SE isn't the cheapest scooter around, and whether the app connectivity is worth another $100 is for you to decide, but I think the GT SE is easily worth its price tag if portability is a priority for you and you still need a lot of range and motor power. That marks the end of this review. As always, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about this scooter down in the comments section. If you're interested in getting the Booster GT SE and you want to support the channel in doing so, feel free to use our affiliate link in the top of the description. Oh, and there's a very nice coupon waiting down there as well. Thank you for watching, see you soon.